will a board director career give you more work-life flexibility in later life? Will it provide you with additional income? Will it give you a successful way to transition from the C-suite or the executive director level suite into a different type of operating and career in your later years? The answer to that simply is yes. There is no doubt that a lot of people come to me because they're looking for that transition to a different way of working, a different way of life in their later years, where they can potentially give back, still stay involved in the board director business community, and to serve on boards and to offer their expertise and their advice in those settings. But we need to balance this with the realities. These things don't just happen overnight. There has to be a lot of forward planning in order to have a successful transition from executive director to non-executive director. And that transition that period of time can take a solid, 12, 18, even 24 months to get the foundations right, to move from having, that successful corporate career to having a successful non-executive director career. Certainly, careers in this area can generate very substantial levels of income if that is what you're choosing to do and you want to continue to maintain high levels of income. That will have a lot to do with your experience, your credentials, your corporate life and where you've operated. But we certainly do see a large number of executives move from being CXOs into having a very nicely remunerated board portfolio in the later years. And that figure can range anywhere from $200,000 a year right up into literally millions of dollars. If you're serving particularly in the ASX type environment and you have multiple board positions. A typical senior executive that I see transition in the first 12 to 18 months, they're generating somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000. And then in subsequent years, if they're really focused on generating income, they're moving from $300,000 to $500,000. And that's predicated on holding, 2, 3, 4 quality board seats and then maybe supplemented still with advisory type work or mentoring or other types of business activity, whether that be facilitation, e-learning, etc., etc. It will really come down to that individual's profile and what they choose to do. Now, is it a stress-free way of life? Probably not. I mean, the reality is when you go onto the board of directors, you are certainly taking on fiduciary responsibility and you have a high level of responsibility, whether that be legal, finance, assets, human capital, all the workings, the mechanics of that business. You take on that responsibility when you serve as a non-executive director. So it's very important that you balance the risks. You understand the risk paradigm. You take on the right type of roles, serving with the right type of people so that you can minimize that. But certainly it can be a very nice balanced way of operating, particularly if you've worked at full pace operating in the C-suite, for example, and you now transition to a board portfolio with a mixture of quality appointments. We also have clients who literally just want to do 1 or 2 strategic board seats, stay involved in the business community, potentially serve on a not-for-profit, potentially serve on a small private company board, generate a little bit of income, but still be involved and serve and give back. And that's a lot of the paradigm that we're seeing, people wanting to just really stay engaged in the business community and to help where they can and to add value where they can. So it's certainly a worthwhile endeavour. It certainly can tick a lot of boxes for executives who want to stay working and still generate decent levels of income in later years. And it's a natural transition for a lot of executives who've had a successful corporate life.